So, what if I told you there's a formula for success? And no, I'm not talking about magic. I'm talking about a real, repeatable method that came from studying the absolute giants of an era. We're going to dive into Napoleon Hill's legendary book, Think and Grow Rich, and break down its biggest secrets for you right here. First things first, you've got to appreciate the scale of this. This wasn't some weekend project. Nope, this was Napoleon Hill's life's work. We're talking more than 2 decades of hardcore research, interviewing, and just digging deep. It was a massive, systematic look at what makes people win. And who is he studying? Get this, over 500 of the most successful people of his day. I mean, these are the heavy hitters. Think Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, Andrew Carnegie. He had a backstage pass to the minds that literally built the world we know. So all this research boiled down to one huge question. What was their secret? What was the magic ingredient that made them different from everybody else? And what he found was pretty mind-blowing. It had nothing to do with luck or where they came from. It was all about how they thought. And that's our perfect lead-in to part one, the blueprint in your mind. See, Hill's biggest discovery was this. Every massive success, every fortune, every game-changing idea, it doesn't start out there in the real world. It starts right up here, inside your head. Okay, so this mental blueprint, it's built on 3 key pillars. First, you've got a burning desire. Then, that desire is supercharged by unshakable faith. And finally, you hardwire it all into your brain with something called relentless autosuggestion. Let's unpack what that actually means. All right, let's get one thing straight. When he says desire, he doesn't mean a casual wish, like, man, it'd be nice to have more money. No way. This is a white-hot, all-consuming obsession with a super specific goal. You need to know exactly what you want down to the tiniest detail. That fire, that intensity, that's the rocket fuel for this whole process. Okay, so you've got this intense desire, but how do you turn it into a belief so strong that nothing can shake it? Well, Hill's secret weapon for this is something called autosuggestion. Honestly, just think of it like you're programming a computer, but the computer is your brain. By feeding your subconscious mind the same thoughts over and over, telling it you've already won, you build this unshakable faith. It's not just hoping for the best, it's actively building a belief, brick by brick. All right, so your mental blueprint is solid. Your belief is rock solid. What's next? Now it's time for part 2, where we turn that powerful thought into an actual real-world action plan. Hill had this amazing way of putting it. He called imagination the workshop of the mind. I love that. It's the place where you take that big burning desire and you start hammering out the actual plans to make it happen. It's the bridge that connects what's in your head to what you do in the world. So, what goes into a solid plan? According to Hill, there are 4 non-negotiables. First, you've got to get specialized knowledge. You can't just wing it. Second, you need a mastermind group, a team of allies, and we'll circle back to that idea. It's a big one. Third, you have to break it down into practical, bite-sized steps. And last, and this is huge, you've got to review and tweak your plan all the time. Because let's be real, things never go exactly as planned. And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle. Part 3, the unstoppable force. You've got the mindset, you've got the plan, but now you need the grit and the strategy to actually follow through and make it happen. First step in the execution phase is decision. And Hill doesn't mess around here. He says successful people make decisions fast and they make them final. It's that constant should I, shouldn't I, that procrastination that absolutely kills dreams. It just opens the door for fear and doubt to creep in. And of course, making a decision is one thing, but sticking with it, that's where the next crucial ingredient comes in, persistence. Look, you are gonna get knocked down. You're gonna fail. Hill calls it temporary defeat. The only difference between that temporary defeat and permanent failure is whether or not you get back up. Persistence is literally the engine that gets you from I failed to I did it. And here's the good news. You don't have to be a lone wolf. This is that mastermind principle we talked about. The idea is when you get a small group of smart, supportive people all focused on the same kinds of goals, you create this third mind. It's like a shared brain, a collective energy that's way, way more powerful than any one person could ever be on their own. Okay, let's wrap this up. When you boil it all down, the entire book has one central message. Your world on the outside is just a mirror of your world on the inside. What you think about, you bring about. Your thoughts literally shape your destiny. But that begs a pretty big question, right? If this formula is so straightforward, why isn't everyone using it? Why do so many people fall short? Well, Hill says there's a common enemy that we all have to face. He calls them the 6 ghosts of fear. And these aren't just little worries. We're talking about deep, programmed fears. Fear of being poor, fear of what other people think, fear of getting old. And they are so toxic because they paralyze you. They make you second guess everything. They whisper doubt in your ear, and they stop you from taking the very risks you need to take to succeed. You just can't build a skyscraper of success on a foundation of fear. It's impossible. You have to beat these inner demons first. So, when you put it all together, the entire formula looks like this. It's a simple chain reaction. Your thoughts, repeated over and over, turn into your beliefs. Your beliefs are what drive you to take action, and your actions, day in and day out, create your results. It's that simple, and it all starts with that very first step, your thoughts. And that, right there, is the big takeaway. If you remember one thing from this, let it be this. If you control your mind, you control your destiny. That's the whole philosophy in a nutshell. It's the ultimate empowering idea. The power is in your hands. So I'm going to leave you with a challenge that takes us right back to step 1. Let's forget about vague hopes for a minute. My question to you is, what is the one specific, definite, burning desire that you're ready to commit everything to, starting today?